Hey guys and gals, this is Bloggy of the Broken Legion of Gamers, and in this video we're going to go through prints I think you should print out with your Ender 3 Pro to basically upgrade it and do some improvements over the factory setup. And in this box I have a bunch of little prints that are actually really helpful. Now, we'll start from the back and work all the way forward. This print right here is a filament guide. It screws right over the Z-rod, right into place behind the extruder. And as you can see, there's these two holes right here. This is big enough for you to put some Bowden tube through. This basically helps guide your filament into the extruder and make sure that when you add the Bowden tubing, it makes sure that it doesn't rub up against the Z-rod and pick up the grease off the Z-rod. And also, the reason why I printed out this model is because it's got this nice clip here for the wiring harness, because when I put on my metal dual gear extruder, that doesn't have a clip for the wiring harness, so this just gives you the ability to do some cable management. Now, one of the flaws from the factory of the Ender 3 Pro and the Ender 3 2 also is that the stepper motor for the Z-rod is just a hair too close to the side extrusion, the side rail, and as the arm that the hot end rides across gets lower, it starts to bind up. Right here, this is a mount, and it's on the back of it. It's got a 1mm shim right there, which eliminates the fact that the stepper motor is too close to the rail. It moves it out, and it basically makes it perfectly perpendicular. It takes away that extreme angle. And I also have this print right here. This goes on the crossbar on the top, and you put in this skateboard bearing, and the Z-rod sits in this hole right here, and the bearing lets it turn freely. And basically, it just keeps the Z-rod perfectly in place. I think these two in unison are a great upgrade for your Ender 3 Pro or your standard Ender 3 to make sure that the Z-rod rides perfectly vertical at the perfect angle. This right here, I printed it. I'm not too big of a fan. It's an extruder knob. It goes on the top of the extruder stepper motor, and it's supposed to help you turn the gear so it feeds the filament down the Bowden tube into the hot end. I find it just easier to pull on the feeding lever and push it through. It's quicker that way. The only reason why this might go on is this makes it easier to watch the printer as it's in motion, so you can see what's going on at your extruder stepper motor. Right here, this is a fan duct for the blower style fan that sits on the hot end, and this basically it basically directs the air a lot more efficiently towards the part that's printing, just to give you better cooling for the print. There's other fan shrouds out there that are huge, and they'll wrap around the front of the hot end, or sorry, the back of the hot end, and cool the parts from both sides. But to me, I think that's overkill. I think this little guy right here is perfect. The factory fan shroud, it does an all right job of directing the cold air down onto the print. This just directs it and centers it right over to exactly where you're printing. I think this is a cool little thing. And the last three things, I've got one more bigger one, but I also printed these wire clips. They grab onto the ribbon cable for your display screen, and they snap onto the bottom extrusion and keep that cable in place, just so it doesn't somehow get tangled onto like the printing bed or something. It's just, I'm as a computer builder, I'm really big into cable management, so I thought these clips were a great idea on how to cable manage that ribbon cable. And there's still two more prints. There's 4 more prints I recommend. There's only two more that are actually printed and done. One's on the machine, and one I'm going to show you right now. I printed up this big boy. This is basically a side spool mount. This way you can move your spool to the side of the machine and have your filament go straight into the extruder, rather than going from the top and having to loop down and around and have all sorts of awkward angles. I had the filament snap on me oddly enough, both prints were at the 2-hour mark, and the filament just snapped, and it basically caused the print was no good by the time I realized that the filament snapped. If I realized the filament snapped right away, I could have paused the print, pulled the filament out of the machine, and refed filament in, and continued with my print. Now for the last one, we're going to do a little... The last one's on the machine. The last one is something I printed up to replace the factory spool, actual factory spool mount. And there's the machine, and this is how quiet the machine is. As you can see, it's printing as we speak. And why did the... Okay, looks like I got a failed print on camera. Looks like I might as well just stop this print and then just continue with the video. Why the heck did that happen? Oh. Like it's ejecting out filament, but I don't know. Now, the next print, now since it's done printing, I'll actually... Oh, that's why. I got a tangle in my... I don't know if you can see that. Right there, there's a tangle in the... Right about there, there's a tangle in the, what's it called? In the filament. I'm going to have to fix that, untangle that, and restart and pull that print off the bed and restart the print. But this also gives me the perfect opportunity to show you. This is the spool mount that I printed up. And don't mind the mess on my hobby table. I'm kind of had to clean off the hobby table and clean up all sorts of hobby projects. But these are those same skateboard bearings from the that you use with the Z-Rod mount. And you just print up this base the nut and the insert, put the skateboard bearings in, and put these in the base, and it just lets the filament rotate a lot more smoothly. This is definitely this is definitely something I recommend you guys doing. But that's it for this video, guys. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up button. If you found this video informative, and by the way, all of these prints, you can download the files on Thingiverse. But if you found this informative and it gave you some ideas on what you can do for your printer, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you like what you saw and you want to see my future content, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified anytime I put up any future videos. And as always, whenever possible, support local wargaming. Here at the channel, we support Toy Wiz in Nanuet, New York, on Route 59, right across the street from the Dunkin' Donuts. And you guys have a nice day. Bye.